you need to get out of your head because you actually was abused. Or hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hey, I'm Jane. Welcome to my space. If it's the first time on my channel, please do well to subscribe, thumbs up the video. I've been thinking about this topic for a while, which is, black parents that are not emotionally available, black parents that are emotionally disconnected from their kids. Can 100% relate to that from both parties. So let's talk about the black parent abuse. A lot of people don't really know how much they've been abused as kids until you grow up and you begin to see things and you're like, wow, I was actually abused. And sometimes when you call your parents' attention to it, they just don't want to acknowledge that they did that to you while you were growing up. Even this morning, I was thinking about something while I was in the dishes, and I thought of something that had happened to me when I was really young, and it was something that I saw as it was normal. Do you get? Because my mom didn't see the need that she needed to address it. So I grew up thinking it was normal for things like that to happen. Now that I'm older, it now rings to me that this thing is actually wrong. Like when you grow up, you realize that you want to raise your children in a different way because of what you've been through. Black parents, the trauma that they've caused, if you confront them, they know they've done it. Like, I've had a situation where I confronted my mom about something some years back, and I know how she reacted. It really came like a shock to her, like this girl's eyes are opening to like see this thing, and she apologized about it back then. I feel like black parents find it difficult to apologize, but the new generation now, it's easier for us to tell our kids we're sorry. It's easier for us to raise our kids in a different way because we don't want our kids to go through the things that we've gone through as kids. This topic is a bit emotional for me. I don't know. I'm trying to put myself to discuss this. It's harder because you doubt that you went through abuse because your parents have not acknowledged and accepted what they did. So sometimes it gets into your head and you're like, maybe I'm just overthinking things, maybe I'm seeing it the wrong way just because your parents didn't accept what they've done after you confronted them. But the truth is, you actually did experience abuse. That thing telling you in your head that it's not an abuse, it is an abuse. You need to get out of your head because you actually was abused, or you don't expect them to accept that they have abused you. And when parents are emotionally disconnected from their parents, it's so difficult for you to know who your father is, what your father is capable of, the personality of your father. It's just so difficult, or your mother, to know who they truly are because you don't have that emotional access to them. You've not bonded with them emotionally to know the kind of person that they are. You just see them as people that bore you and they're taking care of you, and that's all you see. You cannot really emotionally attach yourself to them. Like sometimes when this is happening, you see yourself go weeks, months, you haven't called your parents, and you don't feel like you should have called your parents. That's because you're not emotionally attached to them. Because if you're emotionally attached to them, you will literally want to speak with your parents every 2-3 days. And if you don't call, you will want to text to know how they are faring. Because I didn't really grow up to get that old mommy daddy hug, kisses, like receiving affection from your parents. And it was so difficult for me thinking about it now. Growing up, I didn't used to believe in affection. Like, you probably think that somebody loved you, but you didn't really receive their affection and love wholeheartedly because you felt like it's not real. You felt like it doesn't exist. That was how I used to feel back then, and now my eyes are opening to these things. When you do something, you're being rewarded for what you've done. I didn't experience all of that. So when sometimes people tell me about me, I find it difficult to accept compliments. My friends will tell me, do you know you're hardworking? Like, I talk down on myself and I don't believe in my credibility. My friends always tell me, oh, you're strong, you're hardworking, you do this, you do that. But I don't really see myself as that person. I don't know if you guys get what I'm saying, because I didn't grow up receiving compliments and like appreciation for what I did growing up. So you won't see this as an abuse, but it is what it is. You would like literally it to just play before your eye that, are you serious? Like someone will tell you, oh, you're beautiful, you're like, I beg you, they whine me. These are the things that you have to start changing with your kids. Start letting them know how gorgeous they are, how beautiful they are. You did well. Even though maybe they're not doing their best, try to encourage them as much as you can. You know, the things that build up your positivity, your confidence. I didn't get those things. You need to start saying those positive things to yourself to help you feel better, to help you grow out of that thing that's stuck in your head. Let's say you're the type of person that your dad has always told you you're ugly, you're this, you're that. You're going to always feel like you're not beautiful. So you need to constantly give yourself positivity, say good things to yourself, and watch you flourish. Because if you still stay stuck up in your head, it's never going to get better. You're just going to keep being in that stagnant space just because someone told you you can never be fruitful, someone told you you can never amount to anything good. You're just going to be stuck up in your head, and you need to move on from it. There are lots of black men out here, you know, blaming their moms because of their terrors, their own trauma, but that's not really the case. Some of them do things and you're like, why is this person acting this way? You also need to know that he or she might have been abused as well, and they're blaming it on their parents. They're not willing to change for themselves. If you're getting involved with somebody, you need to know their childhood, you need to know where they're coming from. If not, you're going to end up seeing that person constantly being a terror in your life. There are so many black men out here being terrors to people's life, and you need to understand why they are doing these things. You need to know where they are coming from. Some of them have not even had the chance to see how their dad treated their mom and all that, so they just treat you like piece of shit. The people right now that we are dealing with, oh my god, they are traumatized, making people's daughters go through hell. In as much as you're putting so much work to raise a girl, putting so much work as well to raise the man, because you don't know where he's coming from. And I get it, sometimes you need to speak to your partner and also know if they need therapy, because some of them might not understand what they are going through. They can't see it, but you outside can see it, so you need to call their attention to it and know if they need therapy. If your parents didn't teach you anything, life would always teach you something. I mean, for some people even with all that life has thrown at them, they still just never learn. Like for me, my parents were not emotionally there for me. When it comes to grooming and training a child, I literally raised myself. Your parents can't teach you everything. You're not going to be with your parents forever. Okay, you've been with your parents till uni. After uni, what happens? How do you know how to navigate your life through uni? Some people just want to be spoon-fed with every single thing, but if you don't learn from your parents, learn from life. If you have experienced childhood trauma from like mom or dad, you need to reparent yourself. You need to start relearning things differently and healing, and grow into them as a lifestyle and not because you're just trying to heal. I feel like people always say is, oh, I want a man to be present in the house, so it's just like you have a man. But that's not the case, because it's better to not even have a man in the house and raise your children properly than have a man that is constantly causing trauma, throwing tantrums in the house, giving your children a lot of negative vibes just because you want to be that lady that they said stayed in her marriage, had a man in the house. I have friends that their dad was present for them. They turn out like the worst people. The father was in the house and he's a drunkard, he's a bully, he's into drugs, he's something else that is nothing to write home about, and you just prefer that he was not even in the picture than going through that trauma of having to see your dad come back home drunk, the womanizer. I'll just raise my kids on my own than have my kids go through such trauma with a man that is not really a man. In there, people need to understand that parents being there isn't the bare minimum. You cannot apologize to me and you're not behaving right. After you've apologized, you're gaslighting me, you're just doing this whole lack of accountability. Yes, I've seen some horrible black fathers that were present, and to be honest, when I look back, I'm just like, I didn't miss out on anything. Sometimes this person's presence can just do more harm than good in your life, in the life of your kids. So Emotional neglect can actually be real. People need to understand this. It is real. It happens. That thing that you think was an abuse, it's an abuse. It is real. Your eyes need to open. When you start to get therapy, you would understand that things are really happening. You understand that you were really abused at a really young age. In therapy, just let you see that people have wronged you, and then it's now your choice to let go and be a better parent in this generation. Therapy opens your eyes to a lot of harm that your loved ones are responsible for. Just heal, forgive, forget, and reparent yourself, and try to be a better person to yourself. Learn positivity and just grow. That's all I just have to say. You need to grow out of it. Seek help. See a therapist if you didn't need to see one. I hope that this video helps you to like, subscribe, share, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye guys.